Hello there everyone and welcome to another Terraria Modding Masterclass video. In the last episode we covered creating a projectile using the already existing AI styles. In this episode I'm going to be covering creating your own kind of AI. We're going to have a really basic example and a more advanced example, I guess. So I've already created them because this is how we do this now. And we'll start with a basic one. First thing you want to make sure you do is when you're doing a custom one, set AI style to -1. Okay. So what we're going to be doing here is multiplying the velocity so it decreases over time on the x-axis. And we're going to be adding to the y-axis so it heads downwards. There'd be an arc that slowly and gradually heads downwards. So in order to do this, we're going to create a float called velocity x multiplier, which we're going to give a value. If this is greater than greater than 1, it will increase the velocity, whereas if this is less than 1, we'll be decreasing the velocity. This is if we are multiplying, which is what we're doing in this example here. To change the velocity, you do projectile.velocity.x or y multiplied by the value here. Again, this is if you want to increase or decrease speed. For example, if this was, let's bring up calculator. If this was 1 multiplied by 0.85, sorry, that's a mistake. Let me switch to the scientific. Let's do 1 multiplied by 0.85. If we keep doing it, this is what the velocity would keep becoming. It gradually gets slower and slower. It will never reach the point of 0. It just seems like it does. And of course, let's do 2.5. The velocity will increase if it's above 1. Okay. So that's if you're adding, if you're increasing or decreasing the velocity. If you want to add to the velocity or minus, depending on the gravity, this is usually done with the y-axis. You do let me start again. Projectile.velocity.y plus equals y mult. In this case, we're doing 0.35. So let's say our velocity y is currently 5. We'll be adding 0.35. So we're increasing the velocity y at a constant rate. So this will go down faster and faster over time. Next, we've got the projectile velocity dot to rotation. This is where some trigonometry can come in with a rotation. I'm not sure if this formula is correct. It's correct in, from what I read, math.tan xy equals the rotation you'd get, or the angle you would get, I should say. From let me I know. Basically, an angle of 0 is pointing east, 90 is north, 180 is west, and 270 is south. So we don't go north, east, south, west, we go east, north, west, south. Then we can't just put in the degrees. We have to do convert it to radians. To do this, we do vel rotation plus math helper dot 2 radians 90. So the formula for converting degrees to radians is degrees multiplied by pi over 180. So if you have 0 degrees, our radian is 0. 45 degrees, our radian is 0.785. 90 degrees is 1.570 or half of pi. 180 equals pi. And 360 equals pi times 2. And you'll be setting the rotation to this. So if we launch Terraria, I'll show you the first projectile. This projectile is going to do a kind of arc upwards then head straight down, or arc straight down. But we'll see how it comes out. I need to get rid of that one. Custom AI. You watch, you can see it does an arc upwards. Then the velocity Y is sending it down. Of course, this isn't natural. This is just to show you how it would work. So if you're shooting upwards, I think this is more to do similar to the Javelin AI, I believe, but Javelin's obviously a bit better. And it has a higher shoot speed, so not heading down straight away. But yeah, that's the basic example of AI. Of course, you'll be changing the values to something that actually looks good. Let's head over to our second AI. As you can see, it's already a bit more complex. So what we're going to be doing here is using the float array of AI. Basically, these are timers that allow you to increase, decrease, and change or handle what happens during what point in AI. This is similar to the Demon Scythe AI. So what we're doing is with the first AI timer, or in the first slot of the AI array, we're doing if that equals 0, then we're going to play a sound. And we're ensuring that the sound doesn't keep playing by setting this to 1, so it only plays once. So if you were to increase this, if that was set to 1, that was set to 2, this would never play unless you did projectile.ai 0 plus equals, and then a value, let's do 0.05. So as soon as that hits 1, fine. Now we're doing main.play sound, sound id.item 8, projectile.position, so this plays at wherever the projectile is. Another way you can handle rotation is projectile.rotation plus equals the projectile direction multiplied by any value you want. I believe the lower it is, the slower it rotates, the higher it is, the faster it will rotate. Okay, so here we have an example of changing the speed during a certain value. So we're increasing our second AI timer by 1 each time the AI is called. Then if our AI is greater than or equal to 30, then we're doing either projectile.velocity.x multiplied by 1.1f, so it's getting faster along the x-axis. We're not doing anything on the y. Otherwise, we set the projectile AI timer to 200, so this runs, but this doesn't run, so we'll never increase the speed again. It's just a simple way of handling movement and stopping movement after a while. I say stopping movement, the velocity will remain whatever it was at this 100 point. Then finally you can create some dust to go along with it. So for int I equals 0, I is less than 2, I plus plus, and then we're just doing projectile.position, projectile.width, projectile.height, then calling dust.newDust, pos, width, height, dust type, I'm using the confetti, speed x, speed y, I set these to 0, projectile.alpha, color. I set this to the default color, and then what's that last one? Scale 1F. Let's see how that comes out in the in Terraria. Okay, single player AA. Okay, let's get rid of those arrows, bring in the other ones. Hang on. I think it's this one. Okay, let me just get rid of the map. As you can see, the arrow is rotating. It be weird, it's creating dust. If you watch carefully, I'll try and shoot it this way. The arrow gets quicker and quicker the further away it goes, and it will also, when you hit the floor, it will stop. If you hit a wall, it will stop. So if I zoom out, let's also set this to day just to make life easier. That's night. We zoom out. Better view. While I'm zoomed out, I'll show you the other one as well. I think it's this one. Not that one, that's the normal arrow. That one. Shooting the arrow upwards, downwards it will hit the floor quicker. Upwards it does this arc upwards. Straight up we'll just do normal stuff. Try changing the shoot speed to try and modify how far the velocity goes, and mess around with values. That's how you create some really basic AI. This just handles the velocity, rotation, playing sound if you want, or producing dust. Very simple. Hopefully you'll understand how to do it the more you practice. Again, remember, it's not degrees you're using, it's radians for rotation. The velocity with Y, if you're adding, it will head down. If you're minusing, it will head up. If I was to do minus 0.35, we're adding minus 0.35 to the velocity. Instead of it heading down, it will head upwards, which, if you want that, can. But yeah, simple way to create projectile AI. This AI does also work with NPCs, but NPCs are a bit more different. I'll show that in the future. Hopefully this has been a helpful video. Until the next one, thank you for watching. I do want to say right now, I really need supporters on Patreon. I'm no longer able to use any video editing or Photoshop or anything like that because I'm about to cancel my subscription. If you do support me on Patreon, that's what the money's going to go to, making sure I can use video editing. Otherwise, this is just going to be uploaded as raw footage with minimal editing. So if you can support, that'd be great. So thank you everyone for watching. Until the next one, goodbye.